made you breakfast, fresh coffee and bagels too. A new day is waiting.
Hey y'all, it's Lindsey. I thought today we could do a what I eat in a day video and show you how I follow a simplistic keto lifestyle in a practical way. I have black coffee in this mug. I don't know if I can tip it the right way for you to see that. And that's all I've had thus far. I've been up since about 6 a.m. and just drinking on the coffees. I woke up a little bit hungry this morning. Sometimes I wake up ravenous. Other times I don't even realize I'm hungry till lunch. I do not intentionally fast. I do not intentionally try to biohack things at this stage of the game. I just kind of put my life on autopilot when it comes to food. And yeah, that's what I want to show you today. I do love breakfast foods. I love all the baked goods like waffles and muffins, or I've got some little egg sandwiches, like a breakfast sandwich that's got, like the egg and the sausage and all that stuff. I've got all of those things available to me, but there are some mornings when I just want scrambled eggs and a little bit of salt and maybe some sriracha. I think that's what we're going to do today. Here is breakfast all finished. It's not pretty, but it is delicious. 4 eggs scrambled up in 1 tablespoon of butter. I seasoned with my real salt. Initially, I thought I wanted sriracha, but changed my mind as I dug through the fridge. Decided to go with some Cholula instead. And here is the remaining coffee that I've got going on here. I'm going to finish that and then get started on some water. As an aside, I do have a link for real salt. The Redmond's real salt is my favorite. I love the fact that it comes right here from the US and they don't take away any of the minerals from it. So it's still adding value to my life aside from adding delicious salty flavor. It's midday now, and that means my children are going to be chirping for lunch. We've been working on schoolwork and taking care of household chores like laundry and the like. And I actually am getting pretty hungry myself. 4 eggs, I find, is just not enough, and that's ridiculous. But I didn't have any bacon thawed out. I could have grabbed some sausage that was in the fridge, but I was just focused on eggs because it's fast and simple. But 4 eggs only has about 24 grams of protein, which maybe I should have added mayonnaise on top. I typically do, but I just didn't this time. So I feel a little hungrier than usual. With all that said, I do have a carving ham, a carver ham that I got at the grocery store a little while back. We have a meat slicer, and it's quite a lot of fun to play with. It's technically a food slicer, right? It can do meat, which is, awesome for doing lunch meat or big blocks of cheese and stuff like that. But I figured out that it also works on vegetables like heads of cabbage to shred up really finely and fast. So that's really cool. But I've got this Carver's ham. I'm going to go slice this up and turn it into some sliced lunch meat. I don't know if this is a better deal than buying pre-sliced, prepackaged meat or going to the deli or not, but it's a whole lot more fun for me. So I'm going to go do that. I know my oldest is going to be ecstatic. She stinking loves ham. And she's not alone around here. We all like the ham. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to use the ham, whether I just don't know yet. I just don't know. Maybe I'll do some wraps, but that means I have to make some wraps because I don't have them in the fridge. We're going to work it out. That's what's going to happen. We're not going to overthink the things right now. We're just going to go slice some ham. Okay, I have finished slicing up my ham. I'm only going to do about a third of that package. It was about 4 pounds of the whole ham was about 4 pounds. So I'm only slicing up a third of that. We can work through this within about a week or so. And then I've still got some like chunks over here that I can turn into some kind of delicious, cubed up ham to toss into scrambled eggs or onto an omelet that we will also use this week. I don't use this slicer every single week because it's a little bit tedious to go through and clean, and you do not want to not clean it properly, food safety and all that jazz. But I'm gonna get this cleaned up and then it'll be time to build some lunch. Hey, I decided I'm gonna make some wraps, and I'm gonna use my keto tortilla replacement recipe, but I'm gonna make it on a smaller scale just because I don't wanna stand at the stove for the next 25 minutes. I wanna just make some wraps and then eat them. Therefore, I'm gonna do that right now, and I'm thirsty, and I'm gonna have a plain, pure LaCroix right here. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. All of my egg wraps are right here, my little tortilla replacements. So I'm gonna build up some wraps with that in just a second, but I'm gonna want something crunchy to go alongside this. Having a variety of textures makes a meal more satisfying. And in order to do that, I'm going to use some of these pork rind pellets, but I'm gonna cook them in the microwave. Now you can deep fry these. When I deep fry these in tallow, they are phenomenal. Literally heaven in a crunch. It's amazing. I've also done these often in the air fryer, which is also really good. But I found that popping them in the microwave in a brown paper bag as if it was like popcorn, microwave popcorn, phenomenal results, super fast. I don't risk burning them as often as I've burned them in the air fryers. I do reuse my brown paper bag until it is fully soaked in the pork rind fat. Reduce, reuse, all that jazz, and I just store it all together in a Ziploc bag so that I don't have to worry about where it is each time. Makes it so simple. I also like to take these and kind of break them up into some smaller pieces just so they kind of puff up a little more quickly and a little more evenly. Like if they're all a rough similar size, it works out pretty nice. Plus a lot of these are kind of like, I don't know if it's gonna focus in on that. They're kind of like folded over onto themselves. So if I can kind of break that apart, it will give a little bit more even pop on those. Some of them, they don't come apart and I need a knife to get them apart, so I'm just gonna ignore that one. And I probably have about 12 or 15 in there. Fold up the top of the bag, and I'm gonna place this with the seam side down, kind of like this. Lunch is ready. I went with only one of my keto tortillas. I made 3, stored the rest in the fridge for now. These are fantastic because they will hold up to a lot of stuffing. It will not tear very easily, which I love that. So I've got some shredded Colby Jack cheese, a little bit of ham, some romaine lettuce, and a pickle sandwich stuffers back here. And then my homemade mayonnaise, obviously, that's always a necessary thing. I've got those microwave pork rinds, and I'm going to use my homemade ranch to dip those in, and I'm going to finish up my pure LaCroix. Lunch is looking good. Here is dinner for tonight. I cooked some chicken and broccoli in the cast iron skillet, seared this up really nicely, and I made sure not to overcook it. That's always key when you're doing chicken on a skillet. Just some basic seasonings, cooked it in some beef tallow and a little bit of butter. My broccoli I cooked in beef tallow and a little avocado oil, and then I seasoned everything with like Redmond salt and just basic stuff. And then I've got a topping of some of my homemade mayonnaise. In case you couldn't tell, we are a family who loves mayonnaise. We are getting ready to go on our evening activities for my kids, and that means that I'm going to take some coffee with me. I'm going to have some decaf coffee. As per usual, I almost never leave the house without a cup of coffee. It's pretty ridiculous, actually. And today I'm going to add a couple of teaspoons of some heavy cream. I don't put heavy cream in every cup of coffee. In fact, I put it maybe in 10% of the coffee that I drink, but it's a nice little treat while we're out doing our activities.
And the times are changing fast.